And I will record too, just in case. Oh, I don't have permission to record.
Oh, I'm sorry, and I don't know how to give you permission.
That's okay.
Oh, I'll have to learn how to do that. Anyway, it is recording, so far so good. But you might record if they get bumped off again. Remember that partway through we might get bumped off, we might not. It all depends how it's feeling that day and how many people are there. Hi, Moses. Welcome. Good to have you with us. Oh, and Priscilla's back again. She went away and came back. Where'd she go? Try and keep the microphone muted. Someone did show me how to mute them all, but I don't know how to do it. I can't remember how to do it now. One day we have to try the breakout rooms. I haven't done that yet. Have you, Roseanne? Oh, she's muted.
Yes, I was trying to keep the background noise down. I've been in a breakout room, but I haven't done one. I have to go grab a pen.
Okay. Welcome. So good to have everybody with us. We should probably get started because it will cause more stress if we don't. So if we do get bumped out, then just come right back in again. I'll tell you a story about last week when it bumped us out. Many people came back in, but some people couldn't because of the networking. But then when it was all over, it told me that it hadn't recorded it. And that was all the interviews with you, Florence, except for the one we had in the first half, and then the others were all in the second half. And I thought, oh no, I can't do that all again. Talk about stress. And it told me that I could come back in later and process the recording that had happened. And then I couldn't find it. And then I found it by accident. So thank you, Lord. We have both parts of the last one. I'm going to start screen sharing if I can. How have you guys been? How have you been this week? Have you been well? Is the weather good there? It's nice and sunny here. Nice and sunny. So I'm going to put the screen sharing on. And I want to find my PowerPoint. There it is. Okay. And so we're going to talk about stress today. I've had lots of stress this week, so this is a really good one for me. And if you haven't listened to Roseanne's oh dear, I've got an echo. How'd that happen? Roseanne has a wonderful video on how to handle stress. So I used some of her strategies while I was stressed out today. So that was really helpful. Thank you, Roseanne. So stressors are different for everybody. They're different for all of us. Do you remember that we did our very first presentation in Zambia in 2014, and you asked for stress, anxiety, and depression. So we did that for 2 days, and what a wonderful time we had. And I got to know a lot more about you as a country and a culture and learning what was stressful for you. We have, like Roseanne was saying earlier, some common stressors. What were you saying were the common ones, Roseanne? Oh, you're muted.
I do it. I was saying that I think for all of us, especially with some of the people I'm working with, food security is a stressor, particularly now with COVID, because many people have lost jobs. So food security and home security, caring for extended family, and health. Now, the type of health issues may differ depending on where you are. So I know right now, Bonnie mentioned HIV. Here, people, it's often things like cancer, but there also is a lot of people who are dealing with HIV. So I think So it shows us that family, health, and safety are the big three. It's just how it gets played out.
I think that's true, yeah. And some of the things that are a stress for one person might not be a stress for another. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a few minutes. But I remember when we were at the training center and there were 2 snakes that climbed up the water tower. Do you remember that this year? And to us, we were thinking, oh, poisonous snakes, run the other way. And the young boys were so excited. The whole crowd of the training center went to the water tower. The 2 boys went up the water tower, grabbed the snakes, threw them around over their head, threw them down into the fire, and it was a great party for them. So for them, it wasn't a danger, it was a challenge, and it brought the best out in them. They were strong and having a great time. So that was a good one. And when I first came to Zambia, I was terrified to fly. You almost didn't have me because I was so afraid of flying. I would have stayed home because I was afraid. Oh, welcome. Good to see you. My friend Louise loves to fly. And she loved to fly when you're up in the air and the airplane's just flying. But that's the part that I'm the most afraid of, because I'm always worried that the plane's going to fall down. But I love the takeoff and the landing. That just exhilarates me, something amazing. But my friend hates that. She hates that part. So each of us have different ideas of what's stressful and what's not to each one of us. Now, I wanted to know a little bit more about what's special in your area, what you deal with. And I asked Florence and Moses if they would give me some suggestions. And so Lawrence said polygamy is one of the stresses, worrying about another partner, another wife coming into the family. Death of a husband, because you're so reliant on your husband for protection. And looking after orphans when someone has died of AIDS or can't look after children, looking after other people's children or your own grandchildren. And that makes the family really large, and all that means about providing food. Mistreatment from husband, and that can be from wife as well. Just people mistreating each other, hitting each other, hurting with words, hurting with attitudes. Lack of food, shelter, or clothing, especially earlier this year when there was a big food shortage, and that was such a crisis. And we're so grateful that we're able to help with that. Rituals. Now that's something that we don't have. Can you tell me a little bit more about that, Florence?
Rituals is whereby when something happens in the family, some people have to undergo do certain things. For example, if a man dies, the wife or the widow has to go with certain traditions or rituals so that she stops from dreaming about the husband who has passed on.
Oh.
So you have to get some medicine, sprinkle on her, or maybe to some herbs, so that she doesn't start dreaming about the husband. Or sometimes they can get another man to sleep with that woman so that she's cleansing. So you can see how that woman, gets stressed in her life.
I can imagine.
You can imagine sometimes maybe she's a believer, but now the family want her to undergo such things. So it becomes so pathetic to her. It is something, it even remains like a trauma in her life.
Yeah, just anticipating that she'd have to go through that. And I imagine, especially when you have a new Christian in a family that's not Christian, and lots of differences between how we handle things, and that's a stress, a big stress.
It is.
If you want to handle it the godly way. Hard labor, hard working, and long hours, manual works. and some myths. What about the myths, Florence?
Me also, there are things that are not, which some people believe in. For example, when I was still a girl, people were fearing that, you know, if a chicken lays eggs, people will finish those eggs. So they used it to tell us to say, don't eat these eggs. If you eat these eggs, something will be growing up within you, just to scare us. When it was not true, because the eggs, they are very good for nutrition.
Yeah.
But you were told not to be eating, because something will grow inside you. So because of that, the eggs were protected. But it was not something, it was not true, it was just a myth, which some people thought of, and to protect the eggs from being eaten.
Oh. Sometimes it's hard to break those myths, say, to make ourselves think it logically and say, there's nothing wrong with eating eggs. There's something similar in Canada about tomatoes. Tomatoes used to be called wolf apples. I think it was the wolf apples. And they thought they were poison. You guys eat tomatoes all the time. So somebody sat down on the steps of the town square and ate an apple or ate a tomato in front of everybody to prove that he wasn't going to die. And then people started eating them. So that was in the pioneer days. So Moses said, lifetime diseases like HIV and AIDS, where you have to learn how to live with something that devastating. Poverty, not being able to have the things that you need and provide for your family. Unfulfilled dreams. Can you tell us about that, Moses?
Yes.
What did you mean by
Yes,
unfulfilled dreams?
Unfulfilled dreams. I don't know if everyone is able to get me.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Unfulfilled dreams. I was talking about you have a dream to become something. You have a dream to achieve something in life, but you're not able to do that because you don't have the means. Either it's to where you think you should.
Yeah.
So that gives you a lot just to begin to think how you could get there.
Yeah. So at that point, you can either give up and say, oh, well, it'll never happen, or you can keep on trying and keep on working, and God opens the doors.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's the answer. Yeah, I think we also can struggle with unfulfilled dreams here. We can't always make what we want to happen, and that can be a stress. Troubled marriages, that's a good example. If you would love it for your spouse to change and for your family to be loving and happy, but it doesn't always happen. Stress due to pressure from work, either physical pressure, or you mean like pressure from your bosses, Moses? Like what kind of?
Yeah, maybe work overload, pressure from bosses.
Too much work.
Yeah.
Not enough resources.
Stressed due to fatigue.
Fatigue, yeah, from working so hard. Oh, someone's coming in. If I let them in, I am going to lose. Oh, I can't let them in because I'm clicking. I have to stop sharing for a second. 1 second. Okay, I will admit them in. And then I'll have, uh-oh.